The 15th annual RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl is this Saturday at 8 p.m. in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs take on the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Visit NewOrleansBowl.org for tickets and information on all of the week's activities, including the free Friday night concert featuring REO Speedwagon and Big Sam's Funky Nation and the Dashing Through the Dome 2-mile ramp race. What a weekend it's going to be. The RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Really looking forward to that. It's going to be a great game, great matchup with Arkansas State, Louisiana Tech. Great fan interest. We should have a nice crowd for this particular game. I'm excited about it, Brian.
Kenny, the more I read about this and research this game, I mean, La Tech can put points up in a hurry. Jeff Driscoll's an NFL-style quarterback. Arkansas State won the Sun Belt, 9-3. They got an 8-game winning streak. So, you know, it promises to be a really a good matchup between two good teams that people don't know a whole lot about.
Ricky, as you see the matchup here, records really kind of point to a bigger bowl game, if you will. And then the offenses are both very good. And then look at the defense for Arkansas State. 34 takeaways and 8 defensive touchdowns. You can appreciate that.
Yeah, what I see right there, though, Ken, those two teams should draw people. You know what I mean? That's the whole key.
Yeah.
A lot of people should follow Louisiana, Lafayette, and Arkansas right around the corner. A lot of people should follow them. So it should be a great game.
Yeah, Arkansas State with some skill offensively, as we talked about, they have the ability to score points, and you know, they run read option and spread principles and pretty much what we can expect to see perhaps from Tulane, which we'll get to in a moment. And Louisiana Tech, of course, offensively, very good football team as well, led by Jeff Driscoll, the Florida transfer, who's had a very good year, and some New Orleans kids making plays for them, Brian.
You know, I know Carlos Henderson is a receiver and a return guy for La Tech, and you're right, Mac 35, he's a good product from them. And no, it's a kind of bowl game that remember how this game has always attracted, done a great job on television, and they've gotten people's interest. I think this is going to be the same type of game.
Yeah, Kenneth Davis, one of the best backs in the country as well, so a lot of local interest here. And Louisiana Tech hasn't played in New Orleans since 1998 when Tulane beat them on Thanksgiving night en route to their undefeated season. So their people will be excited to make the trip, about 4.5 hours for them. And Jonesboro, I've driven that many times doing UNO games at Arkansas State. That's about a 7-hour drive, so that'll be an easy drive too. It's going to be a great weekend. Looking forward to good weather, a good game, great festivities around it. And I know Brian's been waiting impatiently to see REO Speedwagon too.
Absolutely.
So he'll be there, no question about it. That's it. Now, Tulane made news this past week as well when they announced the hiring of Willie Fritz as their head football coach. The official press conference is tomorrow. But look at the numbers on Willie Fritz. It's a good resume. 17-7 his last 2 years at Georgia Southern. Proud of that. Led Sam Houston State to 2 FCS championship games. 13 years at Central Missouri. Look at that career record, Ricky. 154-69. That's as a head coach. The point is, everywhere he's been, he's won. I think this is a good hire for Tulane.
Yeah, and he turned Georgia Southern around, and that's what I've been checking out. He's an offensive coach. So, I mean, I think he'll go there and do great things on the offensive end. And if he can get some defense there, they'll have a good team.
You know, he's not the splashy, sexy name that maybe some folks want, but Kenny, you hit the nail on the head. The guy's a proven winner. I do have one little concern. He's never been at a real top Division I program, okay? But he's won wherever he's been, and I understand that he's not wedded to running the option like he's running at Georgia Southern right now. It'd be interesting to see how Tanner Lee fits in, though, at quarterback, Kenny.
Well, I think a guy like that, Brian, he's going to bring some of his own players in.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get some good football players, and I think that's going to be his first thing, going out, finding some good guys around Louisiana, finding some good quarterback, good football players.
Willie, keep Lionel Washington on your staff, my friend. Good coordinator, and he knows the recruiting area. Keep him on your staff.
Yeah, Tulane grad and a legendary player, NFL guy. He did a great job with Tulane's defense. There's no doubt that he would merit strong consideration to remain. And typically speaking, Ricky, when a guy comes in, he might keep a couple of guys from the previous staff.
Well, you know, college is a lot different from the NFL. You know, NFL, they usually get rid of everybody and bring your own guys. But college, a lot of time, you know, if a guy done played there, whatever, the school want him, he can stay around. So there's a lot different from the NFL.
I understand that he may bring his OC with him. The guy he brought from Sam Houston to Georgia Southern, he may bring with him to Tulane as well. You know what? Kudos to Troy Dannon. Okay, I think Troy got a good hire here, and he did it on the hush-hush. He went up to New York, pulled the strings, interviewed up there, and you know, got his guy.
Here's what I like about the whole situation. I'll use my pen to illustrate it.
All right.
This wasn't the good old boy network. They didn't just promote from within, or somebody's a friend of a friend that got somebody the job. They went outside, completely outside, to hire an athletic director and to hire a football coach. And I really think that's what was required in this particular circumstance. Drastic times require drastic measures. And Tulane is in a drastic state right now, Ricky, because let's face it, they haven't won in forever. They've lost interest in the community. They have to shake things up.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen that when they hired Curtis. I mean, you're trying to hire, you know, friends and up friends and stuff, and just wasn't a great coach. So you got to go get somebody who got a track record, who have proven that they have won everywhere they've been. So you bringing somebody in now who you looking to do like they did in the past to win football games.
And you talk about the influence of hiring a guy. As we look at the prep championship scores from this past weekend, consider this: the Gatorade Player of the Year is the quarterback from Zachary, Lindsey Scott, and he got an offer from Coach Willie Fritz yesterday.
Wow.
To come play quarterback at Tulane. Exactly the kind of guy he's looking for. A two-way threat, guy that can really run and can really throw. He's a Syracuse commit, and Willie Fritz is taking a shot to try to keep him home in Louisiana. We'll see what happens. Zachary, behind Lindsey Scott, beat John Ehret for the 5A title, pulling away in the second half. Neville beat Carr, second straight state championship for the Tigers. Great year for Carr and Bryce Brown. In the Battle of St. James Parish, Lutcher spotted St. James 8 and then came back and rolled them 41-14. John Trey Kirkland was brilliant at quarterback. And good news, Laurel Narcisse, just a bruise to his repaired knee, not another tear. Kinder in an amazing game over Mangum, 35-20. Amazing because between the two teams, they combined to throw the ball 5 times in the entire game. And then Kentwood, brilliant behind Shaheem Carter as they trounced Haynesville 40-7. Very impressive weekend of high school football to conclude the 9 state championship games in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The New Orleans Pelicans are on the road in the midst of a 5-game road trip. Lost their first game on the road to the Chicago Bulls, and they were 1-2 last week. They beat Washington, embarrassing loss to Boston, and then a narrow loss to Chicago on Saturday. Had a franchise record for 3-point field goals in the win against the Wizards with 16. The West Coast road trip continues at Portland, then it's on to Utah, to Phoenix, and then at Denver, back home just before Christmas against the Blazers on December 23rd. All right, so they had a good performance against the Wizards, and they played the Bulls close, but close won't get it done, Brian. This team has a long way to go.
Blew a 14-point lead up in Chicago. They had a lead of 6 going into the 4th. Listen, they had to make big stops, and they didn't do it. And when you're the 30th ranked defense out of a 30-team league, that doesn't bode well, okay, for you to turn it around. They're already so far in the hole now at 6-17. They've just got to get together and play better defense. Kenny, you hit it better in the hot topic. You're right. Injuries are no longer an excuse now. You have to be able to play basketball. Everybody's got injuries.
Well, they got a lot of guards on that team, you know what I mean? And that's the whole thing. They don't have a lot of big men. They have a lot of guards. So, I don't know, maybe coach needs to get rid of a couple of those guards and try to bring some big guys in to help Davis out, you know?
Well, they got big men. They just can't play very well. And they've got Ashik and a Jensen. They get Perkins back. But are these guys going to make a difference?
They need some big men. Those guys big, but they can't play.
Back to talk Premier Kia when we return in just a moment on Sports NOLA TV here on WHNO TV 20.